Be in my family, yes sir. Hey, before we get the video started, like, comment, subscribe. Remember to like the video so YouTube algorithm can start messing with us and we can start growing expeditiously. Shout out T.I., you know what I'm saying? Be in my family. We gotta start growing at some point. Let's get to it, bro. And we about to hit 200 subscribers. That's a good milestone, bro. We about to go up, 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 up. You know, so once we hit 200, bro, 1 million is only like 100 away. Fuck it, right? We got, is this the best defense ever? I kind of butchered what I just said, but yeah. We talking about Draymond Green, I'm pretty much sure. I know this video probably not gonna do too many views. Probably I'm not gonna get too many views because it's talking about defense. Who cares about defense, right? But I do. You know what I'm saying? I like to give people, you know what I'm saying, their credit sometimes. Let's get to the video.
Coming into this league, I knew my only way to get on the
And I'm probably not gonna talk. I'm probably just gonna be listening. Y'all can just, you know what I'm saying, watch with me.
defend.
So you've probably heard that the Warriors are good again, and sure, their Steph Curry-led offense is difficult to guard, but it's actually been the Warriors' great defense that has led the way.
Yeah.
And I mean great with a capital G, like a stop the presses, they're historically good kind of great. Since the ABA merger in 1970s,
And just like I got to, I don't keep stopping the video, but like I always say this, bro. Like if I want to know how great of how great a coach is, man, I always say look at the defense. Like if a coach can make your defense great, bro, I always will say that that's what a good coach would do, bro.
only 9 teams
Not just
have finished
offense.
with a defensive rating that was at least 7 points ahead of league average. These
best.
are defensive juggernauts like the revolutionary 08 Celtics, the Twin Tower Spurs, and the 90s Knicks. The 2004 Spurs have the best regular season mark on record, a whopping 8.8 points
Sheesh.
ahead of the league. And after 25 games, the Warriors defense is exactly 8.8 points
Sheesh.
ahead of the league. So Golden State has played like
Curry, like niggas say Curry don't play defense. Check it
one
out
of the
though.
best modern
That Curry ain't
defenses.
just lock up this
And they've
nigga
done
like,
it with
come
an
on now.
incredibly progressive scheme that maximizes their personnel, along with the singular brilliance of Draymond Green.
Come on now, defensive player of the year right here.
Green gives them a kind of flexibility most teams can only dream of.
'Cause he guards
He's
1
able
through
to lock
5,
down wing
literally.
players on the ball, so guards can't expose him when he switches
Guards
onto
1 through
them.
5, bro.
Here he's guarding Damian Lillard, gets screened.
Come on now. He guards 1 through 5, bro. He literally guards the best player on any team, bro. Facts. 1 through 5, no matter what position they play.
And he's agile enough to slide in front of Dame's drive, then peels off Lillard onto another guard and just takes his
1
lunch
through
money.
5, bro. Come on now.
Yet he can also switch onto a 290-pound 7-footer
1 through
in the
5.
post and use his 7'1" wingspan to rip him too.
Look at that.
He's
7-1,
off
shit.
Lillard and back on a center here, and this time it's a pick and roll, so Draymond drops back, recognizes that the on-ball defender is picked off, so he closes hard and blocks the jumper.
Draymond's special.
Most
defense,
players in the world can't guard 4 or 5 positions that well, fly around the perimeter,
Bro,
or
he's
succeed
different,
in
bro.
every kind of pick and roll coverage. And yet Green's most important skill is probably protecting the paint. Among 21st century defensive savants, only Kevin Garnett can match Draymond's ability.
See, and this is why when people, because like I said, I'm not gonna keep pausing the video, but this is why when people say Draymond's trash, bro, like I really look at y'all like news, bro. Like I know y'all don't watch basketball, like that's why I look at like when niggas say Draymond suck, I look at it as and niggas just being entertaining, right? You know what I'm saying? Because if you really watch basketball, you know Draymond does not suck, bro. He's a great player.
To sniff
Hall
out
of Fame
threats
player. Look at that.
and then materialize in the lane with a kind of basketball spidey sense. Here's a quintessential Green play. Over here minding his business, but he's ready to pounce when the ball handler springs free and then instantly recovers to the ball and nearly
Look at
blocks
that.
the 7-foot DeAndre Ayton with a perfect vertical contest. At 6'6", Green's awareness and
6'6" is
defensive
incredible.
IQ
That is
make up
incredible.
for his lack of size. He's playing center here and sniffs out the
Like
ball.
I said, I'm not gonna keep pausing it, but listen, once again, playing defense is not always about, you know, physical abilities. Even though it really, you know, at the same time it is, but you know, it's really just like you want to put that effort in, bro. You gotta learn at the same time, and you can be a good defender, bro.
But the moment he sees that Andrew Wiggins doesn't need help, he looks elsewhere. And because Draymond recognizes a dangerous Seth Curry, he steps up hard to take away any 3.
This is a
So
good
he
defender,
can
bro.
play the
Immaculate.
perimeter,
1 through 5, bro. Even guarding Kevin
protect the
Durant.
paint, stick point
He held
guard,
us like
centers,
19 points.
or big wings like Kevin Durant. And he's basically a coach on the floor, the ultimate weapon for a forward-thinking defense that Steve Kerr and his staff have created.
Great player, bro. I don't care.
Before we
I
get to
love
what's so
Draymond. He's in my
progressive
top
about
five,
this Warriors
100%.
defense, we need to start with their fundamentals. First, their communication is phenomenal. Curry calls for a switch early here. Then he's behind Fred VanVleet and calls for another one so Jordan Poole can step out high if needed. And then Andrew Wiggins is early with his communication to Poole, and he uses length to contest a tough shot against the clock. They're constantly talking and pointing like this. Draymond tells Steph to stay low, instantly realizes they are setting up a pin down screen for Durant, then changes the call so Curry can interfere with Durant's route, and that gives Draymond time to recover and make it an extremely difficult shot, even for KD.
Look at that, bro. That's bro. Draymond is such an underrated player. I love watching a video like this so we can actually see the nuances of everybody's, a certain player's game, because everybody doesn't play
Second,
offense.
their effort is a constant.
Yes.
Sprinting back here.
Yes. This is one thing I don't see on a lot of teams either, is like effort. When I see non-effort plays, that's another thing. Like, the coach don't be on y'all, bro. Y'all don't have good
Off a make
good
because
chemistry.
DeAndre Ayton was behind the play. You see Steph calling for someone to pick up the ball. This time, Draymond's the one directing traffic. When there's a breakdown on the ball, he immediately sends Looney to the front of the rim. And watch Wiggins. He veers off VanVleet because Looney has it covered. Then Toronto has to reset into a pick and roll, and it's Curry pointing to the opposite block for Looney, and then Kevon blocks Gary Trent about
Good
5
defense,
times
y'all.
on
Good
one
defense.
play.
Good defense.
They trap the pick and roll here, so these 3 players are zoning up against the other 4 Bulls.
And he don't know what to
commits
do.
to the ball. Curry splits the difference, closes out to the pass, which triggers Poole to rotate to the corner.
Great defense
And this is
right
all
there.
textbook. After everyone recovers,
Immaculate
it's
coaching.
another pick and roll. Draymond is early to rotate, and the second that pass arrives, Wiggins hightails it from the top to cover for Draymond, and then he leaves because Looney is there and closes out to a 28-footer. Whew. I'm out of breath just describing it, but you can see how perfect an offense has to be to create.
I say this right now too, everything can be perfect, but there are certain instances when, if the player's great enough, bro, and his offense is even deadly enough, a lot of times that doesn't even matter.
Easy shots,
but it
against
always
this
does
level
at the same
of
time.
teamwork
It makes sense.
and multiple efforts from multiple players. It's also the second possession we've seen Wiggins trust his teammate to cover so he could rotate elsewhere. We saw Draymond trust Wiggins earlier, and trust is the other core fundamental here. On this play, you'll see Landry Shamet get a half step on Otto Porter, but everyone trusts that Porter has it covered, so no one helps unnecessarily. That means the offense never creates an advantage. Phoenix has to fall back on a late clock pick and roll that Wiggins calls out early and repeatedly, which helps Gary Payton II, and you know the drill by now.
Good defense.
Overhelping is basically rotating when it's not needed. The ball is already contained here, and a late double team just bails out the offense.
Yep.
And the Warriors are incredibly disciplined about not overhelping,
Good coaching. It's
especially
good
given
coaching,
how much they
immaculate
rotate.
coaching.
Draymond has to read whether Andre Iguodala needs help,
Nah, Iggy got
and he's
that
nearly
shit.
perfect at
Yeah, he
gauging
need
these
help.
decisions
Good stuff.
and derails Durant's drive. That leads to a
This
Golden State run out. And what happens next epitomizes this defense and Green. Coming back down the floor, Draymond has the ball covered, but Jordan Poole overhelps, committing an unnecessary foul from behind, and Green is livid.
Too quick and turning into offense at the other end of the floor.
This is a 21-point game.
This was hilarious. Jordan Poole got mad as hell, but he was right though. Draymond not wrong. Draymond was on that shit.
Draymond has
He
the
need
ball
help.
covered, but Jordan Poole overhelps, committing an unnecessary foul from behind, and Green is livid.
Too quick and turning into offense at the other end of the floor.
This is a 21-point game, but trust is critical for this defense to work.
Yo, I love Draymond, bro. This nigga be having
Draymond's
me dead,
particularly
bro. I
sensitive to
swear.
this because of his
Yeah,
own
me
evolution
dead.
as a defender.
I was a great off-ball defender at Michigan State, but in most situations I would overhelp.
And this is part of him coaching on the floor. Watch GP2 come off the corner here. Even though Draymond already provides help, and he immediately tells Gary that you don't need to help in that situation. All of these fundamentals, communication, effort, and trust, make it possible to string together clinical defensive possessions.
Look at Curry locking that
Helps,
shit up.
Wiggins sinks down to help him, Porter splits the difference on the weak side, and Curry's strong contest makes it an easy steal.
Look at Curry. Yes, sir, Curry.
Those fundamentals also allow the Warriors to take their defense to the next level, possibly
Triangle.
giving us a glimpse at the future of the league.
The cutting edge. The Warriors is just such an amazing franchise.
Defense is
too, though.
complicated. We could spend hours dissecting all of the different pick and roll coverages, but what's important to know is that the Warriors can play any of them because of their personnel. They change their coverage depending on the opponent. Looney's in a drop here, and he knows LaMelo Ball loves lobs,
floater,
and he
yeah.
breaks it up nicely. Against a playmaker like Trae Young, they trapped the pick and roll, so he'd have to.
See, this is the difference between like a lot of teams and like I just feel like some teams, and I can tell bad coaching because they don't switch nothing up. Like the game, I'm posting a video. If our video's already posted, I'll like put it somewhere. Like it's probably gonna be in the description anyway on my channel. The video when Kevin Durant dropped 51, like he never got double teamed. They never changed any coverage on it. They just let Kevin Durant do whatever he wanted to.
Give
I
up
don't
the
understand
ball,
that, bro. It's bad
with the
coaching.
other three players zoning up behind and recovering as needed.
Defense.
They only switch in certain situations as well. Draymond gets under the screen to take away the roll here, and that prevents Chicago from creating any advantage. And while we've seen Golden State switch
Draymond,
a few
1 through
times
5.
now, they also pre-switch, and that just neutralizes screens like this and leaves Draymond behind the play where he's at his best. And sure enough, he tags Gary Trent coming across the lane, chases him into Curry's zone for another switch, and then instead of worrying about Steph's man, he makes a beeline for the basket, and that is the stuff of legend, ladies
Look at that
and
shit.
gentlemen.
Draymond's an amazing
It can look
player.
like Draymond is roaming around just playing center field out there. His man is way up here, and after a while it's like he's not guarding anyone. But this is actually part of Golden State's next level scheming. The Warriors will bring an extra defender to the ball side of the floor to help against isolation or any two-man game.
Yo, Steve Kerr and his staff are ridiculous, bro. Like, this is why we're the best team in the league, man. Even though we lost last night to the or 2 nights ago to the 76ers, but that was pretty much because we were missing open shots. But if we would have made open shots, we would have won that game easily. But you know, their scheme is amazing.
That just kills any roll pass here, and James Harden doesn't really know what to do. They look for a Durant ISO on the other side, so Draymond tells Wiggins to overload on the other block.
And this is what people don't do to Kevin Durant. They don't fucking double team this nigga. This is all you gotta do. Double team him, bro. Make someone else beat you, or y'all will win the game. It's been like that since. Respectfully, the only time it changed when he went to Golden State. But OKC days, that's the same scheme. You just double them, bro, and make the other teammates beat them because they can't.
Allows more ball
They've never
pressure
been able to do that.
while
to them.
simultaneously
If Kevin Durant's
deterring
not carrying,
penetration.
he's not
Other
gonna
teams
win.
typically wait to rotate from the opposite side in these situations, and that can leave them behind the action.
stuff.
But the Warriors are basically a step ahead of the offense. Poole is switched onto a big man here. JTA instantly calls for a pre-switch to avoid a mismatch, and Toscano Anderson creeps over to the ball side, which triggers GP2 to zone up these two players, and then JTA immediately recovers off the pass, and it's yet another late clock jumper.
Good stuff.
And this overload technique isn't reserved for big men or special situations. Curry just floats into the paint here and tells his teammates to zone up behind him, and this is just a wall of defenders, and Devin Booker forces the action, and Steph comes back over to take a charge.
See, a lot of players, like, this is why I said the difference between great and non-great players. Like, Devin Booker, he's a good player. He's not a great player because a great player would have just threw the ball away. Would have set the double team and give it away and let his teammates work it. But
essentially, Golden
a hard
State
scheme to
is
beat.
taking away empty space, trying to avoid situations where a defender is stuck on the other side of the court, and the offense has a ton of open real estate to work with. And this is true for pick and roll situations, but also isolation. A big man is switched onto a speedy guard here, and that triggers communication from Curry, who's like a coach out there himself, So they overload and zone up to avoid the clear out. And since this looks like a zone at times, it makes sense that the Warriors actually do zone quite a bit. Only these aren't basic zones from your local high school. They leverage many of the same principles we've discussed so far, because zoning up spaces and helping teammates by reading the action applies in both man and
They don't
zone.
know how to stop that. Look at that.
GP2
Amazing.
is dangerous in those passing lanes, and Steve Kerr sticks him at the top of their 1-2-2 zone. And you'll notice he slides down to the free throw line here to choke off this high post pass.
That is like, and if you wouldn't have played basketball, or like a random noob, wouldn't understand this right here.
And
I got cut 4 times, but you know what I'm saying? When you get cut 4 times, and you got one of some shit, right?
taking away this pass was one of the guiding principles of Lute Olson's 1-1-3 matchup zone at Arizona, where
what
Kerr
went.
played in
Yeah, that's what I
college.
thought.
That's Steve sliding under to deny the pass to the original Gary Payton. And
wow.
that zone had a ton of rules for changing positions and tracking the action around the court. And so you'll see players like Payton II rotate or change positions in the zone, and he ends up all the way down on Ayton on this one, who's just a bit too big for him.
Yeah.
We could spend.
That's the only thing. The Warriors, once we get James Wiseman back, and I hope he's been in the gym, bro. I'm talking about, I mean in the gym, like working on his body. He need to get
Spend
stronger.
an entire
man.
video on the intricacies of a great zone. But most teams are running vanilla versions where players maintain a 2-3 formation and stick to designated areas. But the Warriors zone bends and flows with the action, and players still read and react. Poole is closest to this skip pass, so Draymond instantly rotates to his spot, a basic man-to-man principle, and they reset in that position, and it's another tough shot.
Yeah.
Of course, it helps to have a mind like Draymond's out there. He tells Looney to get out over this corner screen here, then feigns toward the ball, but he's baiting a pass, and that
got
kills
him.
any advantage for the Kings, and it leads to another forced turnover.
Double.
It doesn't stop
me that
with the
shit,
zone,
fuck,
though.
nigga.
They'll go box and one, with one defender dedicated to a player like Chris Paul and the other 4 zoning up. There's the box, and yet again, Kerr.
You know, I never understood what a boxing one was until this year. When I see somebody actually illustrate what a boxing one actually is, because I know, like, I think Curry gets that run on him like maybe like every night. I think they run on Curry a lot. But not too much this year. I mean, they did it like every time last year. The nigga still averaged 32, but yeah, it's pretty much when like I said, like you said, a boxing one, like a box right here, and one player guards one player.
Curry slides over with the action and forces a turnover. None of this is passive either. They have Payton hound opposing
gotta go
wings,
hound somebody.
and it is dangerous dribbling
Yeah,
around him
I always
at
say,
times,
bro, it's about
and
effort,
Golden
man.
State usually
Good
goes
shit.
box and one, with only 1 or 2 viable shooters out there to guard. There's a brief breakdown on this play, but then a familiar sight. Curry directing Otto Porter to the opposite block, and they recover beautifully. All of this means the Warriors can disguise their defenses. Maybe this is man, or was it a zone? I'll tell you what it was: a triangle and 2 defenders dedicated to 2 shooters, the other 3 zoning up. And this is similar to overloading a side, where communication, trust, and effort are key to making the system.
Like I always say, just double team off KD, bro. These niggas is gonna fold. I'm sorry to even say it like that, but hey, their ass is gonna fold. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in the lineup, bro. Y'all done did some dirty. He gonna tell. He gonna fold. These players are going to fold. All Bruce Brown ass is gonna do is come here and try to take a float. His ass be shooting floaters from right here. I swear to God. All he gonna do, he can't shoot, bro. They're gonna fold. They're gonna fold. All 3 of them gonna fold. Only one who's not gonna fold is Patty Mills. Patty Mills is legit. The rest of them niggas gonna fold, bro.
Trust,
leave
and
him open.
effort
Let him
are
shoot the
key
shot.
to
If he make it, he
making
make
the
it.
system
But
work.
he gonna fold 90%
And
of the time.
all of these defensive looks
Look
can
at
be
that.
confusing for opponents.
Look at that.
And they'll drain
He gonna
a ton of
fold.
valuable
He's gonna fold.
shot clock. And sometimes teams aren't sure how to attack this. That's terrible.
He voted.
And all
You're
of
not
these
dirt.
defensive
Stop it.
stops lead to runouts and
Draymond, you
easier
gonna fold?
shots on
Oh,
the other
Luiz,
end.
not folding.
And this is the final dimension of
me
the
that.
Warriors' defense.
Take off.
It
Throw
makes
that
their
bit.
offense better.
Yeah.
The Warriors are 3rd in the NBA in forced turnover percentage and they're
Good
first
defense.
in offensive possessions that
Throw that
come
ball.
after
Oh,
a
if he was
steal
real. Oh, never mind, Curry.
or a defensive rebound. In other words, a live ball stop that generates
He
transition
about to
and
fold.
early offense.
He's about to fold.
Why is that so important? Well, the average offensive rating in the NBA after
Ugh,
a
well, you
steal
gotta
or
dunk that.
defensive rebound is 115. But the average offensive rating on all other possessions is under 106.
Oh, wow, okay.
So by generating so many live ball stops, the Warriors offense starts with more high value chances than anyone else in the league. If they had fewer live ball stops, say the same rate as the Portland Trailblazers, they'd lose about 3 points on their overall offensive rating, dropping them
Double
down
team KD.
from third in the league
Thank you.
to
Double
around
team KD.
10th or 11th.
Thank you.
Yes,
The other
this
team's
defense
gonna-
is
they're
so
gonna fold.
good that it makes the offense that much better. And
Shit,
this is
Gary
what
Payton
happens with
rising.
great coaching, a progressive scheme.
I tell y'all, great coaching is always. You can always tell a great coach by their defense, bro. And you know, great coach by defense and how the players like, you know what I'm saying, go buy in or not, man.
And versatile personnel converge. Wiggins does a great job at the point of attack, and his
know what
size
he gonna
allows
do,
him to
man.
play all over the floor. GP2 is a ball hawk and quick in passing
Give me that
lanes.
shit, fuck nigga.
Looney is a rock as a traditional center. Even Curry is a great communicator and
Yes.
strong on the weak side. And of course, in the middle of it all is the
Draymond
best
Green.
defender of his generation, Draymond Green.
I'm glad people finally give him his credit because he does everything on the court. He guards 1 through 5, really, literally 1 through 5. Or no other. There's no other player in the league right now who could guard. I mean, y'all niggas say he guarded 1 through 5, but they don't. He doesn't really guard, like Giannis, for instance. Like y'all niggas, y'all remember like when y'all remember last year in the finals, not the finals, but I think it was like either conference finals or semifinals when it was the Nets versus Bucks, and everybody was clamoring for Giannis to even try to guard KD one time, and he never wanted that smoke. Draymond would have wanted that. Draymond would have went up there and said, give me that position. I want that smoke." That's why I think he literally is the, you know what I'm saying, honestly the greatest defender of his generation, bro. Even better than Kawhi Leonard, you know what I'm saying? Even though because Kawhi on ball is amazing, you really can't get back Kawhi on ball. That's just clamps. Off ball a little iffy versus bigs. He doesn't guard bigs. Draymond does it all, bro.
Green. So, is this the best defense of all time?
No.
I don't know. The 2004 Pistons were off the charts with Rasheed Wallace. The Russell Celtics lapped the league on defense. And we still have to see how Golden State fares in the playoffs,
Yeah,
where they may
facts.
be vulnerable to size or
Yep.
great shooting. But right now,
Shooting wise, not really. Not really. We can climb that shit up. The only weakness the Warriors have is size. But you know, honestly, depending on how Wiseman is when he comes back, that could be honestly, you know, out the way. Or if we trade for another big man, which it could be possible, might get Miles Turner, you never know. And shooting wise, I mean, because right now, if Curry doesn't get off, we usually could still win because we have Wiggins and Jordan Poole and a lot of complementary pieces who can really shoot. So we really don't need Curry to get off every single game to win. And we still have Klay Thompson coming back. And I think what I've been hearing is that Klay Thompson's already he's already, you know, healthy. He's already, if he wanted to, he could come back and play right now. But what I think they're trying to do is, I think they're trying to get in a position where Klay Thompson can come back and instantly play like 30 minutes a game because, you know, the condition's already back. So it's
the
scary
Warriors
out
are
for the
playing
Warriors,
like
man.
one of the best defenses we've ever seen, and their versatility and hybrid scheme may very well be the future
He folded.
of NBA defense. There's more on this defense.
You too. Be in my Make Money E. Be in my family. Thank y'all for watching the video. Now go subscribe to this guy because I actually really like his channel. His channel is really interesting. Thinking basketball. Go ahead and subscribe to him, man. Really good channel. But hey, be in my family. Like, comment, subscribe. Remember to like the video so we can get the YouTube algorithm on our side. You know what I'm saying? We got some more Be in My Members. Get some more family members with us. You know what I'm saying? But hey, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.